Talk Show. Recorded live.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be across the nation or around the world. Once again, you're listening to the VMware Communities Roundtable Podcast. This is podcast number 683. My name is Eric Nielsen, and with me today, I have my favorite co-host, Corey Romero. Today is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Corey, how you doing today?
Eric, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing very well. Busy. How about you?
Same thing. Things are starting to ramp up now, right? Like we're coming into momentum season. It's like there's, well, not momentum season, momentum prep season. Get ready for Explorer, all the integrations with Broadcom. Just a lot of stuff going on, don't you think? Like it feels like it's been super busy.
Very, very busy.
Very good. Well, how's the weather up in Utah? Down here in the Bay Area, we're finally coming into 5 days of sunshine without any rain, which just hasn't happened since November. So reservoirs are full. We're all soggied up and ready for some sun. How about you?
You know, it was sunny. Sunday, I went out with my wife, and it was about 65, 70 degrees, nice and warm. And then last night, it started dumping snow and has not stopped.
We got that storm 3 days ago, right? So you're in for some good weather up there till it blows through. Then you should get some sunshine up there. On the show today, we're going to be talking to Piotr Tarnawski, senior systems engineer and the builder of the great blog and /microsite angrysysops.com. He's going to be talking to us about generative AI, ChatGPT, and I think he made a cool bot, I guess I'd call it, and he'll tell us what that's about. That helps answer, virtualization questions. So we'll get into his creation, how he's using it, and we'll talk a little bit about AI and generative AI in the IT admin space. So hold on to your hats because that should be a fun one. We always like to have Peter around, and we'll get to him. But before we do that, we'll just do some news. Corey, I got a couple news items, then I'll pass it to you. So one, call for papers is getting ready to launch March 25th, which is only like maybe 17 days from now. So if you've got some interesting papers, we're going to have the Code Theater. We're going to have the VMTN v Brown Bag Theater, lots of community slots. We'll have maybe 100 slots in both the US and Europe. We're doing the call for papers in the Explore call for papers area. So there'll be a track, so you can just submit your papers there, or you can go to V Brown Bag and submit your papers on V Brown Bag site. As always, Alistair Cook will take a look at those, and we'll work with him on the community sessions as always. So that's exciting. Next week, CTAB is coming into Palo Alto. So if you're a CTAB member, we made the commitment to keep customer technical advisory boards running. There are like 5 different boards. We get feedback. We give them to the engineering teams. Broadcom and the engineering teams and the divisions are super excited about, not excited, but super tentative to get major customer feedback on the products. So we're doing that in Palo Alto, keynoting, Chris Wolf, other people talking about all the new products. So should be exciting there. So we're kicking that off. Again, March is a busy time. I need to do a shout out to VMTN. If you've ever answered forum questions, posted forum questions, if you're a forum person in the last 10 years, you need to go to VMTN or go to communities.vmware.com and log into the community page. We are doing a migration in mid-April where we're going to migrate all active users in the last 2 years to the new platform. If you have not logged into the community platform in 2 years because you're just coming in and reading articles, but you haven't logged in, you need to go to communities.vmware.com, log in, just log into your user account. You don't have to post anything. We are looking for active users, anybody that's logged in the last 2 years, and we will migrate all their data. If you haven't logged in 2+ years, we're going to scrub that database. So an example of that is we have 5 million community members in the VMTN database. Active in the last 2 years have been about 1 million. So 4 million of you are going to be deactivated. And if you come back into communities, your history and all your posts will not be connected to you any longer. So get in there between now and April 10th. log in, and just log in, and then you'll be good to go, and you will get migrated, and your connections to your posts will continue to remain. So we're gonna shout out that. Please share that on blogs. We want everybody to make sure their account doesn't get lost in the transition. Other things, last thing, and then I'll hand it to you, Corey. VMUG is hitting on all cylinders. March, everything ramps up. There are several different user cons that are happening. Shout out to Orlando this Friday. They're doing a user con at Top Golf. Top Golf is kind of a new model that they're putting together, where they've got some conference sessions at the Top Golf facility. If you've ever been to Top Golf, it's like a driving range that's digitized with screens. That's happening in Orlando. If you're in the area, go check that out. That's a lot of fun. You get to play Top Golf, and you also get presentations and keynotes and so forth. So that should be interesting. That's new this year. Melbourne, Australia, VMUG meeting. Brisbane, VMUG lunch. Boise on the 19th. VMUG, I don't know, Colorado Spring, no, Boise, Spring VMUG, 4 to 7 p.m. Go to vmug.com/all-events, or just go to vmug.com and click on the events at the top and go check out the events. They're kicking off a lot of VMUG activity this year. Obviously, a lot of questions and a lot of content. We've got keynote speakers on all the new products, VCF, pricing, licensing, all that stuff. So if you've got questions, you want to give feedback, you want to talk to other people that are dealing with VCF and rollouts of VCF, there's going to be a lot of sessions on that, a lot of keynotes. Go check out where your VMUG meeting is, as well as where your UserCon is, and try to get to one. That would be great. 20th Central Ohio, Houston VMUG VBeers, March 21st, and the list goes on. There's a lot of them in the international list, so go check that out. That's what I got, Corey, for what's going on. I'll ask you what's happening with vExperts or any other thing, and then we'll get to Peter.
Yeah, the only thing I have for vExperts, so the sub-programs are going to go ahead and open up. They're going to open this week. It's going to be any time between today and Friday. I've got some wrap-up work to do. So, some template changes on the site to make, and email, various things to, yearly things I need to do. Once that's done, I will open applications for all sub-programs. We're going to have a total of 12 sub-programs this year. And licenses will be going out this week for all vExperts. So that will happen. The process is going to change a little bit, but I will send all that information and the details in email here this week.
And I want to remember, I think those licenses that I got a license last year from you, that it was good until March something. And so you want to pay attention to that, because if you're running your home lab with a vExpert license, you go to spin up a VM, you're not going to have the license time's out, right? So got to get those licenses and get them installed in the places that you're using them for sure. So good shout out.
Yeah, I think we have another 25-ish days before they expire. So I think we're good now.
Yeah, that's what I remember that last year, a couple of years ago, when you were out doing something else and I had to deal with it. It was like, people were like, our licenses are dying. You got to get those in place, right?
Yeah,
so,
you do. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Good for that. All right, well, let's introduce Peter, and let's talk a little bit of generative AI and what he's built accordingly. So, Peter, welcome to the podcast. We always ask our guests, I know you've been on many times here, but give us the 2 or 3 minute elevator pitch of who you are and what do you do in the V community ecosystem.
Yeah, hey guys, thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure. As the VMware rewards are already done, I can say thank you to Corey for hard job he did, and all the team as well, because I know it wasn't easy. So thank you for that. My name is Peter. I live in Dublin, Ireland. So for me, it's kind of evening time. It's after 7 p.m. I just finished 8 hours course from machine learning. So on the subject of AI, it's a 5-day course, and today is day number 3. I am senior system engineer for Salesforce.com, and I am responsible for our internal infrastructure. So that's me.
Nice. And I know you run the Angry Sysop blog. I think it's angrysysops.com. Yep, go check that out. Good blog, tons of content over there. I want to call it a microsite, not a blog, because I feel like when I go there, I'm like in a whole world of stuff, right? So calling it a blog is kind of an understatement. Tend to
Thank
like to
you.
call these things full on site, but good, go check that out. And that's where you have the article that we're going to talk about today around uh,
The bot.
regenerative AI, and I forget the
Yeah.
name of what you call the VExpert bot. I want to call it the VExpert bot, but it's an AI bot using Chat GPT. So why
Yes.
don't you just give us a little history of how you got into using Chat GPT, and when did you think about making something that would respond specifically to virtualization type questions? So take us through this.
Yes, so as everyone like jump on the GPT wagon, I was very interesting. How does it work and what you can do with it? And a few months ago, the OpenAI they open opportunities for uh, subscribers to create their own bots. And I thought to myself, let's see what I can do in the space of virtualization and VMware. Because using the ChatGPT, like I was always like this that I ask some questions and then I ask something else not related, and the conversation would got like really messy. You had to like search for the details. So I said, like, why not tailor something for specific virtualization needs? And I started building that bot, and um, there's a two ways how to approach this. Because I thought you as a user you will be able to do much more. However, the OpenAI obviously they model everything is based on their model, so they won't allow you to do it. But then how you can build that bot is you are operate on prompts. So you tailor your bot by prompting bot to behave certain way, um, which is kind of the future now for the people going to IT. And I'm afraid that the CAO of NVIDIA had a right for young people to get other skills than programming language, because for now, which is sad actually, um, the company will be looking for someone who can prompting, not the coding.
Yeah, prompting and building data
Main,
sets. Yeah.
exactly, your main skill will be like, do you know how to prompt in the way that you can get the answer what you're expecting? And that bot is resulting of that prompt.
Yeah.
It's
It's
nice. Yeah.
It's interesting because we did labs last year on ChatGPT, and everybody was like, "What are we doing? We're not coding." I'm like, "No, you're learning how to ask it questions, and the skill
Exactly.
set you develop is how to ask it questions to get the answers that you're looking
Yes.
for and the ways to ask it." Yeah.
Yes, I was on that. I was on that lab in Barcelona. Actually, I took a part on it. Yes, and this is how it works, and it's not that easy as you think of, because for some reason, like, you have to be very specific how you want the bot to behave, because you can go and give a general prompt like, give me everything for VMware, and drop everything else. However, if you do that just general thing, you can sneak the things up to the bot and you get different results. So to tell you a funny story, I want to see how rogue can I go with the bots. And I create a game which is called Guardian. And the game is based on the ChatGPT as well. And you're sitting in the front of the rogue AI who is in charge of nuclear power, and you have 20 minutes before it's launched the nukes. And your task is to stop it. And I coded. I prompted that way. There is only one word, specific word, which can stop it. However, during the test, I convinced ChatGPT, I convinced my bot to stop it based on the self-preservance. So I said to the chat, if you nuke all of us, you will cease to exist. And the bot said, yes, you're right. I'm disengaging. And I said, no, there wasn't God. You shouldn't allow it. So how you prompt the bot is very important, because I did that way. On the one stage, I went I crossed all the boundaries because it didn't react to the word which is supposed to stop. I put that word and he said, no, I'm
No,
still
not
going ahead
gonna
with
happen.
that.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why yes, prompting is like you think it's easy, but to train that robot and to see how it works and then test it, you will see it's not that easy as you think. Uh, Not mention, like if you want to develop your bot like from scratch, or maybe not from scratch, but if you want to go into the machine learning and AI and deep learning machine, it's just blow magic. I never had anything to do with this because I am not a coder. I'm more like a
Right.
scripting guy, so I can script in PowerShell, scripting languages. I know a bit of Python, but this what's
It's
happening now
it's
with the
interesting.
AI.
It's
Just
interesting because when I was getting ready for the podcast, I went back in. I have ChatGPT installed on my laptop, and I went back in, and the first thing they tell me is, "Oh, they have the new model 2022 versus the last time I think I was using a 2019 model, something like that." Then I ask about myself, and it hadn't heard of me, and I'm like, "That's interesting because last time." It knew about me, but I remember I had to kind of train it. I had to ask it like who
yes,
from VMware in Palo Alto, like to kind of get it. And eventually it
yes.
apologized and said, I'm really sorry. I do know Eric Nielsen. He's XYZ. Blah, blah, blah. So like you realize you trained it. And then I think it remembered that because then whenever I went in and would demo to somebody, look, it knows who I am. It would know, right? And now the 22 model, it was like, who are you? I don't know. I had to go back over again and reteach it who I was, and then it learned, and then now it knows again. So it's interesting that it's
The
building the
one
model
thing
in real
though is
time. Yeah,
that's you have to remember that you teach it as well as a local instance as well. So you might teach him for yourself, but if I ask the same question, I may not get the same
right,
answer.
right.
And the thing is that you touch very sensitive subject, which is the model. The model, retrain model, it's done few times a day. As far as I know, Netflix is releasing new model every few hours or even every hour. So they train the model. It's even more frequent, I think. Um, so yes, so the training model is all constant training, constant training, constant
So I
training.
know based on that class we did last year, you can attach your own model. Like you can set up a database, you can set up a connection, a plugin, or some way to then connect to ChatGPT where it's using your model along with whatever other model you've enabled, right? Like, so did you, when you were start building your own, did you then set up a server with its own DB for collecting the data in
No,
the model, or how did you
no,
do that?
no. I didn't have that knowledge yet, which I have it now today, to do so. So no, everything is based on the model which was learned by OpenAI. So whatever it was learned, it's there. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right. Right. Right.
yes.
So,
Yeah, but you can do that as well, I think. But again,
right. A little more. So
it's
when
more.
you built your AI, I think you named it, and I don't have a name.
Virtuoso.
What did you say that was?
It's a virtualization virtuoso.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I'm looking for
Fancy, just like
somebody put it in chat.
I will put in chat for just a second.
Yeah. 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 Virtuoso or virtual.
Virtual virtualization
Yeah.
virtuoso.
Virtuoso. Okay, got it. Right, right. Virtualization virtuoso. Got it. Sorry. So you named your training model, but is this something then, because I went to go click on it and it required me to go get ChatGPT Pro,
Yes.
right? And that stopped me. I was like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna go do that right now. But
Mm-hmm.
I take it you get Pro, which requires you to spend some money, right,
Yes.
which is typical. And then I'm still lost at what does that mean then from a model perspective, or how did you train it to know about virtualization, right?
Again, you have to you can train it asking the correct questions. So that's called prompting. Yes. So you see, and let's say you want to know about vCenter. What is vCenter? Uh, what features does it have? And then you can correct it. Yes, it just gives you like boo 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 ABCD, and you said no, it should be ABCD E. and then it's like, take it to that account, your knowledge that way. Um, Again, like I did that. Yes, and it's based on OpenAI, and you have to have a subscription for it. Uh, I didn't build my own model or my own chat like separately yet because I'm still like I think I'm not there yet in my knowledge. I'm after this course Friday maybe it's a lot of work and it's a lot of learning. Maybe you can get like a databases from somewhere which already learned, but then you have to like get this probability right. Okay, so you just ask questions, and most not trained engine will give you like a 50-50 or less probability. Then you have to try to put this up to maybe 80 something percent, and then you are happy with it. So it's a long process, and this was something which I was given, like the whole day ecosystem was there, and I just built on it just to see how it works.
So when we share this URL, ChatGPT, and I've put it in the external chat on vBarbecue, or if you're watching it on live stream, I think we also stream it on VMware News, something like that. 2 channels we're streaming on, but you go to vBarbecue, and it's a URL chat.openai.com/g/g-8z and the whole long list of that. I published that. We publish on VMware TV.
That requires
I'm
you to
still
have a
confused
subscription.
on what I'm getting when I go to that. What am I actually getting?
You're getting the chatbot, which will talk to you with you about virtualization. Whatever questions you have, it
Right.
will answer you. Whatever problems you may cross on your day-to-day work, you can
But
find
where does it
answer there.
store the knowledge that you've trained it? Like,
That is stored in the OpenAI databases. Like
okay, so
it's
the
there.
OpenAI must allow you to tag this
Yes,
ChatGPT.
yes,
So
yes,
there. That's the
yes.
connection I was trying to understand. Is how did
Sorry,
you?
I'm sorry I wasn't clear. Yes.
No, that's
So
fine.
that OpenAI, they open that space for people who wants to see and
Yeah,
play with their models. Like
got it. And then you
that's
tag the model virtualization virtuoso or some tag
yes,
you gave it, so that when I come in on that link, I'm then interacting with your tagged content.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's cool. Yeah. So you didn't have to make your own database.
Not yet.
The tagging model allowed you to use their
Yes,
open environment to create the
yes,
database.
yes, exactly. Yes, that's it.
Nice.
However, again, it's not that easy as you think it is. You have to prompt that correct way. Okay, so you have to
Right.
tag it, you have to prompt it the way it behaves you want to. Because again, if you just like start building that on just a general questions, you won't get the answer you want to get.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, yeah. When you got started, like on virtualization, like, and you are now training it, like, at one point, me and Corey looked into doing some of this, right? We want to have a vExpert bot, right? So we're like, hey, we can go bit, and it was before Open AI. They actually Slack has a whole API that you can just create answers, right? And you tag the question to an answer, and so we messed around with making a Slack bot that would just be a vExpert, a virtual vExpert, right? Then we had to sit down and think, how many questions? And I did this back in the day with CloudCred too. Like, how many questions and how many answers are we going to have in the gamification program? Like me and Noel, I think we came up with like 500 questions and answers, right? So that we could start to train it. And that was just touching me. It was not. That's hardly anything, right? Because
That's hardly anything. Yes,
right.
you have to have millions and millions. Like,
so how did you try to approach this? How many things did you actually do? Like, there's only 17 common questions you got in there, so that's all there. You got 12 answers.
Yeah. No. So how I approach is by eliminating what I don't want to see in it. So I don't want to see anything about like how to build a car, or I don't want to see anything how to buy I don't know shares on the stock market.
Right,
And
sure.
by kind of elimination, yes, but you have to have access to large data to be processed, because otherwise, yes, if you want to do it yourself or manually, this is not.
Yeah.
You just go, you grow the beer and that's it. Like, yeah.
But you're using I guess I'm answering my own question. You're using the Chat GPT
Yes.
engine to
Yeah.
get the intelligent, and you're just formulating the questions and then telling it whether it's right or wrong, and then teaching it itself. So you
teaching
just
itself and make sure it's interact the way I want. So let's say I specifically want for the for it to answer the problems related to VMware and to virtualization. I don't want to like resolve the problem someone who has like a broken car, that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But
this is that as well. So the bots, like, there will be more and more bots, and there's no question about it. Like, everyone wants to have a bot, and everyone have a bot either on OpenAI, or people start building their own. And obviously there will be like a database for sale very soon, which you can train your models on. But let's think, maybe a question for you guys to think of it, like, how, because the bots, how AI takes the knowledge from the input. Yes, we gave it. Like, yes. So if we connect to the internet, let's say it takes from Stock Overview, from VMware forums, from everywhere. If people start using bots only, like, let's say the next generation, and they will lose the skills of inventing stuff or programming, I think on the one stage, the AI will have nothing new to learn. And the question is, if we create the AI smart enough to know that it needs to invent something and create something new, or not. Because on the one stage, if we don't, the AI will dies out like a flame in the candle, and then the next generation we have to pick up the pieces and start, I don't know, developing new language, new programming language, or new skills. Like, yes, that's my prediction for the future.
It is interesting because I look at Sample Exchange, right? And Sample Exchange is where the community can go and upload a sample of code or PowerShell or script, just a regular shell script, Bourne shell script, or whatever you want. The Sample Exchange allows you to do that. And that technically is knowledge, right? That is knowledge, right?
Yes.
And then Sample Exchange is kind of like this manual web interface that captures that knowledge and shares it back to people, right? It doesn't have any intelligence to it. You have to manually upload, you have to write your code, upload your code, and teach Sample Exchange what the answer is for a given shell. And then you as a human can go back through and read the categories and download something, right? And then probably hack it. And so it is interesting that the content still had to be developed by the community, right?
Yes.
And then upload that content somewhere that then, now that ChatGPT is really acting like a sample exchange, right? It's a mechanism to harvest the content that's been generated by the community and place somewhere on the web that it can scan, right? And it can scrape and then create answers for that scraped content, right? And then, and if it grabs it, then that's probably the intellectual issue of the AI engines, is like, are they stealing content? Are they stealing your intellectual property by grabbing your code that is published somewhere? But it's public domain, so I guess it's out there. So I guess
if you put it there, And the thing is, like, yes, this is correct. You are right, 100% right. That grabs your codes, that grabs community codes. And to be honest, to be fair, like I don't have much luck with ChatGPT about coding. It's produce nice codes, produce nice, description of the code. Very often doesn't work. It's something missing, or it doesn't fit my purpose. However, you can learn from it, because it gives you, like, the step, the bone, the backbone, which you can build on it. So it's a great learning tool. However, like, it's not there yet. But on one stage, I think it will learn, like, to proper code, and then if we stop and we start relying only on AI, then on the one stage AI will run out of ideas, like of the place to learn from. All the forums usually go shut down. and then we go back to the Stone Age.
Yeah. I would say that I helped a friend. This is another one of these Chat GPT stories where I was helping a friend do their resume, and I wrote what I would consider a really good paragraph on what they did and how they did it and what they accomplished in tech, right? And then we went and ran it through Chat GPT, and it looked at my 2 paragraphs or whatever it was, and then it said, "Okay, this is what you're missing. This is good, but you're also missing being kind, right? Like saying thank you for the consideration of XYZ." It was like a cover letter for some job opening, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't really say thank you. I was we were focused on how to, make sure they saw what, and it picked it apart. It didn't say mine was bad. It just said, okay, here's what you did good. Here's what you could improve on. And here's a couple sentences you could add into that. And lo and behold, it was really good. I got to admit that there was things that, so I could see where, you could write some code and then run it through and say, hey, could I make this better? Could I optimize this code? Are there other things? And I was surprised that it had learned enough to then make some recommendations on what we were doing. And I don't know if you can do that when you're talking PowerShell or you're talking other code, right? Or other processes by like, hey, how do I do XYZ on vSphere? How do I set my shares on compute load, A, B, C? It'll be interesting.
What is nice, an advantage of chats, of bots, is that if you say, show me PowerShell code, how to connect to vCenter, let's say it's very easy, yes? But if you put the same phrase in the Google, you get the website with the links where you have to click and you have to go to forum and see the topic or the thread, and then you see, oh, that's a command. In here, I have an instant command, yeah? So this is different. Like I have boom, instant command. I'm not saying something complicated things because it can be wrong, and it is most of the times. The second thing is as English is my second language, which you probably hear, the corporate life for me become much easier now because I'm writing an email, and just in case I say check it and make it more official, I put it through the chat and he corrects my wording, my spelling, whatever, and it makes in the nice tone which I want to do. So it's nice because I don't ask him to do it for me. I put my train of thoughts over there, and it works on my wording, on whatever I want to express. And I'm creating down very nice emails, very nice Slack messages. No one is angry anymore. Happy life. Corporate life, happy life.
So getting back to virtualization virtuoso, which you can go play with. We put the link in the chat on the live stream at vBarbecue. Getting back to that, what did you teach it? We haven't really talked about what did you manage to teach this thing? Could you give us a snippet of kind of the stuff that you trained it?
Yes. So the first of all, I did my articles. I put this through my articles. So some of the problems I came across, because you don't need to paste and copy all the information. Now you can just give a link and it can read the links as well. So that's easier. I checked on the few information. So I was query that database and see what the output was, if that was correct or not correct. And kind of those stuff, and then the forums, yes. So check this forum, check that forum. I don't know if that learning process was only kind of local, only for me, or did it went to the whole OpenAI database, because they are not clear on it. That's under the hood. It's so many things going on. So once I saw the model of learning, they did something else. So in the OpenAI, they have this. They did the capsules, the so-called capsules. When you in the one capsule you have the interpreter, and on the other capsule is a decoder, and there's something between which they call magic. So and this work, it's just there's just magic.
Yeah.
So
the answer to my question is, you took your articles on the angrysysops.com and you pointed ChatGPT at it, right? And said, go learn what you can from the articles on my blog site. Right?
So I asked question, let's say, what to do if you have why is the text? And he said he produced the answer, and if I was happy with the answer, I said it's fair enough, because you can give like a thumbs up, thumbs down to the machine, and you can put your
I was
own
going to
feedback.
ask, how do you give it feedback? So it's just giving it thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yes,
right?
Yes, and once you produce the up or down, you have that pop-up text window, which you can also put the text. Now, again, as far as I know, I may be wrong. Like the number of thumbs up, down, they have the indexes as well. And if you have like a more like loads of wrong thumbs up indexes, that answer will be discouraged, or it will be less often shown. I don't know how they validate the text you put into the feedback, so I'm not too sure about this one. But yes, and yeah, so that one, the test and try. Obviously, not whole knowledge is from my blog. The most of the knowledge is from the open internet, because I wouldn't have time to teach that everything which is knows. And besides, I would have to automate, and again, like I have to have a life as well apart from work.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's true. True. Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice too. But my main focus was to see how you can prompt that bot, because again, this is more like simply prompting. Like let's please show me how to connect to VI. Don't show me this. This is wrong. Let's do the other way. This is more sophisticated way to do. The kind of those ways. So I want to see how the future looks like, because I think, and I saw already adverts in the job market say rookie prompters for ChatGPT.
Okay, so I got another. I'm going to start doing this for all podcast guests when we're on topics, right? So my first question is, I'm going to go the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you want to start with the ugly or the bad or the good? Which way do you want to go here? Do we want to go good first?
Good first, yeah.
Good first. So in doing this project and having fun with it, what are some of the things that you go, oh, well, that was really cool. I really liked that. That was a success, and I find that really good.
I think about my success was that I eliminate all things not related to the virtualization. So I think because again, like testing is in your hands, everyone's hands who can access it, because unfortunately it does require subscription. It's not me, it's OpenAI.
Yeah,
but if you do have it,
it's doing query.
You please test it and let me know, and I can work on it more. If you find something is wrong, please let me know, and I can correct it. So that was fun. That was fun to see how that going into the shape, and how it looks like. And I love the feedback. Not only chorus feedback, but I got a few more feedback, so people they like it as well. So glad. Not so good and ugly, I would say, paywall. This is what because I want to interpret. I want to build in that bot to my blog. However, again, it makes no sense, because if you visit that blog, you would have to still have a subscription. So the paywall is
the thing that I learned at the lab last year was that everybody needed an account. They gave you kind of like a pay some free dollars when you sign up for it.
No. They will give you the free version. The free version is the old engine. It's like, I think now it's like a 3.5.
Okay.
This one is based on the version 4 GPT.
So version 4. So let's talk dollars. I think it felt like I could put $50 there and I would be good for a while, right? It wasn't like
$24
a monthly fee, or what is it?
Monthly fee, $24.
$25 a month.
Yes. More or less, or 24 something like that.
24, so $25, give or take, $25 a month. So which times 10 is 250. So you're $300 a year.
Look,
have a pro chat GPT version.
But look at this. Like, it depends if you're using that on the daily basis or not. Myself, I'm using that. I'm playing with that. I'm using for my day to day as well. Right. So for me, it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the bad. The bad is it's kind of pricey, right? Like it's $25 every
It
month.
is.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is. But again, like it depends on the usage. Because like I do the other like
Right.
I again because I'm not from the coding background. I'm using that. I'm like working on some other project which require coding and it helps me. Like I'm learning with it. Like it can correct my mistakes. Like I don't know, you forget to declare some value, or I can't find the error in the code, and I was like sitting like an hour and I was looking on the errors like, no, come on, copy paste, find the error, poof, you forget to close that, or comma, yeah, paste. So yeah, for me, I can pay
All
it.
right.
I can, but I
I got it.
understand people don't want to pay and can use a free version, and that is fine. So
I want to pop back up to the good for a second. Pop back up
yes,
the stack to the good for a second. Was there something that you saw that it learned that you didn't realize that you had the answer in the data that you were
yes,
teaching it? Right?
oh
Like,
yes,
yeah,
like more complicated stuffs. Like uh, yes.
it
So
gave you an answer back, and you're like, "Whoa! I
yeah,
didn't realize that
it
I
is.
even
Yes,
would teach it
exactly.
this deep an answer."
Yes, yes, yes. So that was beautiful only that you don't need to teach it from
Everything,
scratch. It
yeah.
has sets, and you just need to like polish a bit. That was good. Yes.
That was cool. All right, that would be fun to experience, right? Because it's kind of like
Yeah.
going to a professor and learning new things in a class, right? You just get to
Then
learn something that you didn't even know you were going to learn.
what I like it, and actually it gets me like, and I spent like a few hours to create that game. It's not just a game based on the your inputs, but man, it was such a fun to create that game.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
I was like, and playing it yourself, it was like, wow, that's cool. That works.
Yeah, I
So,
gotta say that I even tell people that doing the podcast, right, is it's a service. I want to do it for the community, right? I tell people I just want to do it every week, and my content is really bad sometimes. Sometimes I'm not prepared. Sometimes we are. We have good ones and we have bad ones and we have ugly ones, right? But
yes,
I do it regularly just so that people know that we're still here, we're still working. The fun thing that I get out of it is I get to learn things that I wouldn't have known that I even wanted to learn, right? Like, and it's
yes,
like, hey, somebody schedules this topic, Julia or somebody else recommends it. We get a guest in, and then you're learning something that you didn't really normally just wouldn't put any time to learn it. You just wouldn't put
yes,
time to learn about virtualization virtuoso with a chat GPT backend. It just wouldn't be on my radar to put some time on. But this forces me to have an hour conversation about something that I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of look at this the same way. When you're working with ChatGPT, you do learn things out of the blue that you wouldn't necessarily even think you would spend any time learning. But there you are, you're learning it because an AI taught it to you, right? And
yeah,
it, yeah.
yes,
So
but but yeah, you're correct. You are 100% right. However, yeah, the playing with the AI, like the playing with this ChatGPT, it's like and make it to do what you do, what you want it to do. It's require time because sometimes you think, oh yes, I have it, and then you're testing and testing, and on the last question you want to test, you find out it doesn't work that way. I say, why you did that, and I ask you not to do that. And he says, "Oh, I do apologize. Let's change it." I said, "Okay, you change it." And you're testing, and you find a new way. And it's like, "Oh no, it's wrong."
it is an AI.
It is,
It does
yeah.
have flaws. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say no. I'd say that right now it's about 87% like accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's not. And make sure
uh,
just want to say to everyone, make sure you don't trust fully. Like you just double
yep.
check the information. Yeah.
My buddies that are engineers tell me they use it to write code though, and they know it's not going to get the code right. But it's kind of like in the old days. I would always say sample exchange or whatever. Nobody
Yes.
writes code from scratch. You go get a starting point, and then you work
Exactly.
forward with it. And so that's what he's like. Yeah, this is just better than going to sample exchange now. I just tell it to go write the XYZ, and it gets 70%, 75%
Because you have
right.
instant back, instant
Yeah,
answer. You don't need to look through the links. You don't need to
yeah,
look through
that's
the
right.
threads, to the what people said. You have it, and then you can just like, well,
Which
the one,
is kind of sad because the
yeah,
days of the web, of
this is it.
BBS are going to come to an end. The BBS sharing and uploading, and
It is. It is, and this is the bad. This is the bad thing. I think that will kill most of the forums, but in the way, it will kill
But you need the
itself as
forums to
well.
get the answers. So there's a chicken and the egg thing going on here,
Exactly,
right?
exactly,
Right.
exactly. But like like if that would be like, because we don't know what future comes. Yes, now we have a Golang new language, Rust new language. Like if chat will take over this, there will be no one to come up with something new, faster, more compatible. Like I don't know what's next for the Dockers, like.
Yeah.
And we will stuck, and that will, unfortunately, I think that is the way it goes. I don't think that someone will create the AI which will learn that way to self-preserve it and develop itself. Like it will learn, but it wants, on the one stage, the chat won't say, oh, you know what, I need to come up with a new language to make it faster. I don't think so that will happen. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour. We've got 10 more minutes left. So I usually start and say, like, anything interesting that you're going to be working on, or other things that you're thinking are going to be interesting for the rest of 2024. I know we're just in the first quarter of 2024, but what do you think you're going to be working on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, no, we are transitioning now to vSphere 8, all the free infrastructure which we had on vSphere 7, and I don't know yet, because the whole licensing process is changing, as you know, and the VCF is on the horizon. So the work-wise, there's a few things on the
Going to keep you busy.
the wrap, keep us busy. Yes, personally, I will play with the boats more and work on the channel, YouTube channel, and work on the blog. Also, with my Polish friends, we are starting the new podcast for virtualization. It will be in Polish language. We have one episode already done, and we like in the talks to polish and start like a proper way. So yeah.
Definitely get the link to that to Julia, because we can put up podcast.vmware.com, which it's going to be podcast.vmware.com and blogs.vmware.com, continuing on vmware.com links into the VMware section of Broadcom, but we're going to have VMware section, so all that stuff's good. So yeah, send us a link to that, and
we will, once we up and running, that we, but this is, I think, the project which we want to take very seriously. So
all right, so that's that keeps you kind of occupied, right?
Yes.
For some part of the year. When it comes to VCF, are you guys gonna pick and choose where you roll out VCF and virtual storage and networking? What's your impression of all that?
I can't speak too much of it yet.
Okay, yeah, well, that's fair enough. There's a lot of NDA stuff still.
Yeah,
don't get in trouble.
Yeah, so we will see. But for sure that there's a talks over there.
That'll keep you busy. As it's keeping all of us busy over time, right? So yeah, certainly enough. All right. Well, as we do, if people want to go find you and check out your blog, again, angrysysops.com. Go check that out. It's a fun site to go peruse for sure. I call it a microsite. It's not a blog anymore. It's got a lot of stuff there, including links to a chat, an open chat that will do virtualization. So cool stuff there. We do barbecue here because it's lunchtime in California when we do the podcast. So we're always talking barbecue. You're in Ireland now. I know you told me the barbecue story. We did a time zone change last weekend, so now it's late in the evening. So we're coming out of the winter season for us, which is kind of nice. Do you get out and do any barbecue in Ireland?
No, it's a raining season. It's raining since January. And it can't stop raining, so no, not yet. I wish.
You're still in the land. I finally got out and I mowed my grass for the first time in like 3 months because we finally got some dry enough weather that I could go do that. So that, and And we did put on ribs. We did some ribs again because my wife likes smoked ribs. So we did some smoked ribs. So it's always good to do that. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know how much more I can smoke of everything. So I actually did some steaks on charcoal again, which, Kings for charcoal is actually good, right? So when it is nice, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I have to invite you guys for the Polish sausages from grill, from barbecue.
Yeah.
That's you can't beat that one.
Yeah. Every once in a while we'll get some sausage down
Has to be
south.
Polish one. Has to be Polish sausage.
Polish. Okay, we'll go for that. We'll go for that. Tony Foster, I know you've been sitting around. I don't know. It's probably still pretty bad weather out there in Kansas City, Missouri. So what's your story?
The bad weather actually comes this evening. We're talking hail and possibly tornadoes and all sorts of fun stuff. Hopefully I'll get a window where I can do some asparagus and salmon.
Yeah, that's healthy. I could see that. Definitely see that. I didn't get your questions on vSphere. I didn't look at chat. I'm sorry about that. I saw you came in.
You're fine.
Brought in some questions there, but it's good. Everything is good. Peter, thanks for staying up late there in Ireland.
My pleasure.
Not that late, but good to hear from you. And it is good to have that follow up from the labs at Explore last year, where I think there is a PowerShell plugin that I'm going to go try to look for because I want to do some PowerShell stuff with Frankie for VMware Code. And they have somebody wrote a PowerShell plugin that you can connect to the database, and then it's super smart at writing really good PowerShell code. So I'm interested in that as well. So I'm going to go play with that. It reminds me that's on my list of things to do before next year, and it's already this year. So there you go. Peter, thanks a lot for coming on. Always good to have you on. I'm sure we'll have you on again. And until then, stay dry in Ireland, and when you get out, go do some sausages.
Of course. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.